Hello there everyone, welcome to another episode here on Settra Legendary. This is patch 6.3.1 and we have a wounded priest. Well, that's what we get because we have so many heroes here from Tzeentch, and I'm actually being able to kill a few of them, or at least to wound a few of them. Okay, that's cool.
I do not.
Now, I don't want to risk too much, so I'm just going to send the heroes. At this point, I'm trying to get to rush to the endgame armies, like to get my armies to the point where I'm fighting the endgame armies, because he's already with Chosen. Like, Tzeentch is already with Chosen at tier 3, at turn 56. Ugh. Okay, so King Wakav, goodbye. You're not going to face that with those Nehekaran warriors. But Settra will. Settra, for the help, should do it, but it's going to be a stalemate here for quite some time. I'm pretty sure of it. Yeah, because the biggest problem is exactly like, he has some Chosen, I'm going to have to be careful there, and all the while I'm going to see if I can just siege Quetzalcoatl and attack it very soon. Unless the Bretonnians take it. And if the Bretonnians... Well, I don't think that army can take that. Unless it has a huge auto-resolve potential. So all that I'm doing with my armies is trying to get to the point where they are fielding the ones that I've planned. I always plan my armies. You've seen how I do it. If you want the planning for this campaign, let me know, because I'm not going to show it like I typically show. I'll have it in case you guys want. Overall, it's all about growing the provinces and getting the military buildings. At this moment, I don't feel like I need more income, so I'm not even going to build anything that gives income. I need 3 turns to declare war. Okay, I'll gladly wait. No, I was thinking that Tzeentch would keep me occupied for a little while longer, and it didn't. So, the research is one of the most difficult things, in the one that you kind of have to adapt to the circumstances the most, especially for units, for heroes and stuff. When do you want to get another army? When do you want to get another hero, you know? So it's difficult. Let's get the Scorpion Sting here, so that unit capacity, let's prioritize unit capacity. As you've seen there briefly, I have my heroes with the name of the... Can I declare war? 1 turn more. Okay, I have the heroes with the name of the Lord, and then I just say melee, caster, necrotect. This is so much easier in case they get wounded, so that I know where they belong. You know, that's a small trick that I always advise you guys to have, or to have your own tricks, of course, because you can name heroes anything. I like to name heroes Scout. You know, if I use one as going out for scouting. Tomb Kings is not the best faction for it, because they have so limited amount of heroes. But yeah.
Open the casket of souls.
Having a hero with named Scout is just so much easier. So, King Hathacor, King Jan Hansa. It's almost complete, King Jan Hansa. He needs to get rid of 1 unit and then get a caster. Oh, if you hear me yawning, or if you hear me stopping, I'm yawning, guys. It's because usually when I record this, I record these sessions late at night, and then my kid wakes me up in the middle of the night. So I already go to sleep like 6 hours, and then I get awakened for 30 minutes in the middle of that. And then in the morning, that's where I'm recording the voice. And yeah, that sometimes sucks. that's how it goes. But yep. All seems fine here. Some of the armies are already with the type of army that I wanted. Like, for instance, this king. You've seen it fighting already. So let's start getting a ton of tier 4, tier 5 units. Let's start with some Bone Giants and some Hero Titans, because I don't have those anywhere else. And I kind of want the Shifting Sands to have those buildings. I'm going for tier 4, tier 5 settlements everywhere, so that's good. I'm going to be able to get all my units. And then the unit capacity, of course. So yeah, that sounds good. I have that Necrotect, and I need just the caster. So I'm gonna give one Ushabti. I always advise that you have like at least one army that just gets the garbage. What is the garbage? Like the units that you don't necessarily want to delete, because I know there's a lot of people who do that, but I dislike doing that because it's a prime opportunity if you, when you're weak, for the enemy to declare war on you, and then it kind of defeats the purpose. So typically I like to have one army that has everything that is left from the other armies, you know, that you just recruited for the time being. Yeah, I knew there was going to be an army, but I didn't think there were going to be two, and that's a lot of chosen. Ugh. That is a lot of chosen. So I'm going to have to go slow here, which I dislike. I'm going to have to go slow. By the way, after I end the record, you know, button, I always review everything before clicking end turn. And in this case, instead of in camp, I'm actually going to be in ambush there. I don't know if I'm going to show it, but I believe not. So I can unlock yet another Necrotect. Yep, there we go. Because between the unlocks here and the unlocks through the tech tree, it's kind of difficult. Kind of difficult to have everything, you know. Do I want Wise or I want Master of Ceremony? Both are kind of cool. I like having Necrotect with Banishment there. Yep. Yeah, he has a super complicated name. I want him to be King Hatacor's Necrotect. So yeah, this one doesn't have any constructs, so I wouldn't need the Necrotect there. I'm gonna just copy the name here because it's a difficult name, and then go, let me just Necrotect. There we go. This sort of renaming, it's always very good. At least for me, it's my trick, and I always like to recommend it. So some people, you know, some streamers like to name after, you know, people in the chat and stuff like that, but I prefer a more strategic approach in this case. Don't know if anyone copies that, but or if they do the same in their campaigns or a similar sense, but yeah. So I am on ambush stance. Yeah, before clicking that end turn, I just went, okay, I gotta put these guys on ambush stance because there's no way I can fight those two armies. I can fight and I can win. I cannot win without casualties. So there's always the two scenarios, the three scenarios. You're gonna lose, or you're gonna win with some casualties, or you're gonna win decisively without any casualties. Let me see where those... Oh, I thought they would retreat to the Fortress of Dawn. I was actually afraid they would go into the sea, you know, and then go after my places, because that would be the worst. But there's three armies, and I cannot go in just easily with these armies. I cannot encamp, so I might as well just channel here. No, might as well just retreat. That's three armies. That's three armies. I really don't want to have to face three armies, guys. I have the forces for it, but there's no point because I'm going to destroy the greenskins and then I'll have four armies here. And they can help me divide and conquer more easily. So, yeah. Okay, I can get another Lich Priest. Which one do I want? Nehekada? With Master Ceremony? That sounds really cool, actually. Let's get these spells. Mostly I get the spells that I feel are going to be more useful. And those is, in this case, one is a damage dealing spell and the other one is a nice buff for missile troops. So yeah, let me copy that. There we go. And now he's the caster. There we go. If he gets wounded, I already know. And see, immediately I already know. Imagine that you end the turn and you save, and then you come back to the campaign, you know, a week later or something like that, when you can get the chance, and suddenly you don't remember what that hero was doing, you know. So that also helps. It's one of my recommendations there. Everyone's attitude is against me. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if anyone can give me some gold for it. How much do you give me, dwarves? That's not a lot for a faction that's supposedly very, very, very... yeah, there we go. Very rich. So for a faction like the dwarves, they're supposed to be very rich. They're suffering, you know. If they only offer that, typically that means that they don't have a lot of gold. And if they don't have a lot of gold, that's kind of good for you. So let me siege. There we go. Continue the siege. And then let me destroy the army that it's outside. This is what the AI often does to you. Okay. Like they'll destroy, they'll siege your forces, and then they'll destroy whatever army you have on the battlefield, and then they'll go in and siege up again. Okay, what can I get? Yeah, I have to choose with the Tomb King. You only don't need to choose when it's one of the dynasties. So I'm thinking Nushabti here. Yep, of course. Okay, let's go boosting a little bit of income. Can I attack? It's a close victory. I think I'll take it. We'll have another episode for a siege. And that's a perfect location here. So let's get a few more bone giants. And let's also get the royal burial chamber. I think this is necessary for one. Yeah, and the corruption just in provinces just helps. I think so. Or do I want just the inheritance statue? Yeah, I think so. There we go. And the faction was destroyed. Okay, that's one less faction to worry about. It was nagging me that I still haven't finished those guys. And now it's all about taking out Tzeentch. After I take out Tzeentch, or at least if I diminish them comprehensively, then I'll have no problem whatsoever with the north. And I really want to go to war against the Bretonnians because they are taking most of the desert, and there's some places there that I really would like. And yeah, that's the case. So some Vanguard deployment because I have a lot of skeleton chariots. So now they have the Vanguard deployment that I like, because that changes so much when you get a tomb prince and then Vanguard deployment for the skeleton chariots. It just makes it so much better there. So this is Lich Priest. Let me go over here, and that army is completed. So King Jan Hansa also needs one. So let's go for that. There we go. Hero capacity +1 for Lich Priests. I'm really focused on getting my endgame armies. Like this King Rakasha's army is the endgame. It's not going to get any further changes. It will only get replacements. And I know it's a tier 3 army, but that's exactly what I want there. Sometimes you can do so well with tier 3 armies that you can just convert them into tier 4 or tier 5 by redline skills and research, you know, and then suddenly you can support a lot more. Not that it's essential for the Tomb Kings, but at least it gives you a lot of power while you are going for the more advanced construct based armies, you know. And you know, tomb guards are always quite nice. I never understood why people don't go for tomb guards. They're just quite solid, actually, units. About one of the most solid infantry units in the in any undead faction, you know. Okay, so let's exchange stuff. Do I want King Lamisage to have skeletal Sepulchre Stalkers? I think so. I believe so.
Not now.
There we go. I think that's decent. I would like for King Lamisas to have a few more Ushabti. So I'm going to give the Tomb Guards here, and I'm going to try to recruit the Ushabti. Okay, so there's one more, and then likely I'm going to get even more later on. So let's see if I have a research rate, by the way, 169. That's because of an unusual location. I'm loving those, actually. It adds a twist, like, and if you know how to use that twist, like for instance, yes, I have a province with full Skaven corruption, but it's given me 60 research. So that alone, it's quite good. Let's get the Herald of Jaff, so that I can give Frenzy to those Ushabti. And I'm thinking of giving Frenzy to these Ushabti, so the second army based on Ushabti that I have, this one, King Jan Hanses. Because he doesn't buff Ushabti by himself, you know, that doesn't give him anything. Giving them Frenzy would make them quite more powerful. Okay, let's get another Lich Priest. Aggressive. I want, with Ushabti and Ushabti Great Bows, I kind of want to have a light wizard because of the net. You know, because when you're using the net, it helps out that you can, you know, cast the net of Amintok, and suddenly that target becomes mincemeat to any of your Ushabti, you know. I can just focus fire the enemy lord, for instance, really fast, stick it out, and then that's a sudden leadership drop for the enemy for a prolonged amount of time. Okay. Let me scout. This is so important, guys. Always scout, especially in these circumstances. It's so easy to go just, you know, let me march. Oh, Settra is invincible. And then suddenly you're swarmed with 3 armies. Look at that. 3 armies with Chosen. And some Mutalist Vortex Beasts. Okay. So let's see if we can get just 1-on-1 on those, because that will be very important. So let's set up an ambush there. Oh, come on. Come on. No, there we go. And let's set up an ambush there too. I do have the Sandstorm, the right that gives me the Sandstorm, and it gives me more ambush success chance. That's why you're seeing 100% there. It's very useful for these scenarios. That's where I usually pop it. You know, whenever I really need that ambush. It has worked in the past, and it always kind of works really well. Now I have these 2 armies going to reinforce, so I need them to go as fast as possible. And the idea here is either they reinforce through, you know, together with Settra, or they go around and force the enemy to just split up. And it will depend on how the developments of that ambush go. If I manage to take out one of the armies, I'll just go through. If not, then I'll go around. And there's a nice dilemma. So this is quite a dilemma. Because I can get the infantry completely useless. Leadership -10 for infantry units, that's dangerous. And if I get the melee attack and melee defense for monsters, that's dangerous too. But I'm thinking that I have more infantry, or infantry is more critical than the monsters, because I use a lot of chariots moving around, so it feels like it should be fine. So, right, yep, I now have the Incantation of Gehev, which is nice for the army ability especially, because that always causes some good damage, and everything else is just nice. Construction time is always quite good. It's easy to assume it's construction costs when it's construction time. Now, I could get that Herald, but it's 500 canopy jars. I think I'm going to save a few of those canopy jars for now. I could go the Herald of Marak. Herald of the Sphinx, it's fine. I usually use this for Necrosphinx. This is the useless one. The Herald of Zanji, because not this one. That would be nice, actually. And the Herald of Scorpion, yeah, this is quite good. Because bonuses is infantry plus 12, it's tremendous. It's tremendous. That means 12 extra melee attack and 12 extra weapon strength versus infantry. And that alone makes Tomb Scorpions munch through almost everything. Especially after all research and stuff. So, yeah, you can really make a nice army. So the heralds is something that those small heralds there are something that we kind of should have more of. Instead of just randomly getting auxiliaries, just having a few ones that are good, I think would be nice. So that's a lot of chosen, but he teleported. My guess is that he teleported because he didn't see that I have any armies. A note here. The AI always knows that you have armies. It's told purposefully to disregard it. So as in, it's told purposely to play in the wrong way. So, and if it disregards it, it's the same. It's the same. It's weird, but it will be the same as if it wouldn't know, right? So it's just told to be blind. And it's kind of like the same thing with the map. Like the AI always knows where your armies are. It's just told to disregard that unless they have a hero or a lord nearby and stuff like that, you know? So in essence, that's what happens. Okay, what do I want for King Lamishaz? I would like another Ushabti Great Bow. Actually, two instead of one of the other Ushabti. But yeah.
Greatness comes.
King Catacore. I'm thinking on getting yet another army. Or actually getting two armies. Because that's the change that the Tomb Kings got, that it's so cool. You now can field a lot of armies even by turn 60. Look at that. I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 armies. And they're all very well developed. You know, previously you wouldn't be doing this that easily. So, I don't think I need much. You know, Settra himself with just the garrison can do this. Okay. And he's weakened a little bit because of the attrition. So there's one army, but there's nothing else. Yeah, that's so much better. So much better. Why do I have the urge to play Tzeentch? You know, why do I have that urge? I could decisive victory this, but it's almost 22 minutes, where it's past 22 minutes, and I have yet to make a battle. So let's make a battle then. Okay. And it's a nice map to do it. It has the bridges, so I'm just gonna have a front line of my skeleton archer chariots to screen and try to take out the enemy missiles, and my caskets of souls are gonna bombard everything from quite afar, while the reinforcements are gonna arrive on the side and just, you know, go against everything that it's necessary. All the while, I mean, skeleton archer chariots, they're so good. I don't know, I'm not going to say the name, but someone, you know, a YouTuber that's well known said that they suck. And I'm like, how are you not enjoying using these guys like this? Of course you can have other units, and maybe for the playstyle it's better. But they just work out so well on this. You know, you take out the flyers, you take out the important targets, and then you munch through the infantry. I mean, it's just a role. They have so many roles available to them. That's what I like about it, you know? If they would have something like a herald that would change their damage to anti-large, it would be super overpowered. Because right now they're just, they're good against infantry, good against flyers because of that missile damage. And as you've seen, change bringers. Oh, the mighty change bringers. Yeah, dead before the battle even begins. So yeah, that's how it works. And it's always like you can bait the AI under these circumstances, but repeatedly the AI disregards the skeleton chariots as being, threatening. Let's go, Settra. Especially on the Settra, and after the glorious charge and the landmarks, they just do so tremendously well, Even on this case, I was actually attacked and charged because I was focused elsewhere. Yes, my micro has issues. Even on this case, they got attacked by the enemy Chaos Knights, and they just melted them very fast later on. So yeah, I just charged on the back of the Chaos Knights with another chariot, and it did so much damage. I think it's difficult to see that you kind of have to charge one or another. You cannot charge everything. You have to choose one unit and charge. If you try to charge with all the chariots at the same time, it's kind of difficult to get good results, so I would disadvise on that. I typically select them and tell them to charge the same target, and then select them midway and select another target, Yeah, these are chosen fighting tomb guards. Don't feel afraid of that. And just like that, look at that tomb prince just going through the chosen like they're nothing. Yes, they're in movement, which means that their mass doesn't account as much, That's why you have to be bracing for the mass to count. And here comes the Necrosphinx. Actually, the Camion War Sphinx. And yeah, already they are suffering. And especially after that casket, those 2 casket of souls, that's all you need. A couple of those do so much good damage. You don't need 3 or 4, like other artillery units. They just do enough damage so that you can munch on the enemy later on. And look at that. I didn't even need the reinforcements. They were just deployed in case. So yeah, that's good. See how the Tomb Guards just survive really well. They cover so well and they do a lot of damage. And they're just a wall. It's like having a mobile wall for me. They do damage, they just survive well. So yeah, especially after the buffs. And note how I'm not even putting Settra as a mighty destroyer of everything. I'm just putting Settra, these are 2 passive abilities. I keep forgetting that they have these passive abilities. So yeah, whenever the units are in range, it's always good to send the Necrotect with the constructs, and I keep forgetting about that. But yeah, Settra, I feel with items, I never really focus on the melee aspect of lords. I know that they can, destroy entire armies by themselves, some of these lords, but I'd rather play with the army instead of just, an RPG of sorts. Sure, and also with the items, I can never really feel that it's essential there, Alright, some good progress against Tzeentch, and that means that likely I'm gonna have yet a couple 2 armies here, one from Dynasties and another one bought. Yeah, I'm feeling great. So having all those armies means that the AI is not going to betray me that easily. I'm going to conquer the Tzeentch places. Should be just fine. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye bye.